there is more to reality than meets a normal eye. Behind the curtain of everyday consciousness is hidden another, unutterably strange mental universe.
My nostrils positively quiver.
What are they saying, honey? Something's wrong with my hearing aid.
Hello and welcome to another edition of It Came from the Living Horror of Zombie Beach with Chewbacca. Every time you do that, dude,
zombie Chewbacca.
I know you're trying to do a zombie. I know you are, but it's just like every time you do that, I just think of Chewie and Han Solo in the bar or something.
I can't do a zombie. I'm sorry, I screw up your beginning every time.
That's all right. That's fine. That's good. They know who we are by now. If they don't, they're never going to.
Then why are they listening?
Exactly. Well, my name is Dan Ledbetter, and with me, as always, is my cohort in crime, my friend, longtime friend, I should say. We've known each other since the late 70s.
Yeah.
When we were in our early 20s.
Yeah.
Wow, how's that for a comparison?
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Jerry Davis, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, it's so good to be here. Well, it's kind of good, but a bittersweet kind of good, because I know this is our what do you call it when it's not the inaugural, when it's the last one? The decommissioning, would we call it that?
Yeah, I think we're decommissioning. Maybe not forever, but at least for now. I mean, anybody who's been listening can probably tell that we haven't done one of these for over a year.
We haven't. But that's because real life has kind of gotten in the way, because as a result of us doing this podcast and others, we both have gotten jobs in marketing and podcasting.
Yeah, we both do content creation.
I know. It's absolutely hilarious. But, I think the last time we left off, we were at season 3 of The Walking Dead, and now we're at the end of season 5. There's a companion Walking Dead show coming out. There's like zombies. Zombies are everywhere.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say. They're freaking everywhere, people.
My daughter is the one who really should be doing this podcast with it, because she's the one that's still into zombies. She was watching some other show that was kind of like a cheap version of Walking Dead, and it even like had jokes about Walking Dead in it.
The one jokes on the Sci-Fi Network, Z Nation?
Z Nation, that's
yes. Right. I watched that. I don't think it got renewed. I could be wrong.
Yeah, she said it wasn't that good.
It was pretty horrible. But I mean, it's sci-fi. The people that brought you Sharknado and Sharknado 2.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But so Jerry, let's jump right into this, because there is so much to talk about, because I'm actually, and it's kind of appropriate that this is our last show for a while, with quotation marks around it, because I have been going through this binge-watching thing of all the horror films that I never got to actually go see, so I've been watching them online.
Uh-huh.
And I've come to the conclusion that there are so many sequels, and bad sequels, I will say, and not enough original thought out there. In fact, the most original film that I have seen in the longest time, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's called The Babadook.
No, never heard of it.
It's great. It's kind of like a children's bedtime story gone horribly awry.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's freaking brilliant. It is not super gory. It's not jump out of the closet scary. It's more like a psychological thing, but it's psychological paranormal, and thank God it's not one of those found footage films. I am so
it's done.
Sick to death, and they're still cranking them out.
It's because they're cheap to make.
Oh, I can't even believe it. Like I saw one the other day called The Pyramid, which was absolutely terrible. I don't even want to recommend it. I don't even want to talk about it because it was that bad.
Well,
but I'm so disgusted at where horror is right now because nobody is taking a risk and putting out anything. Well, there I go with the all-inclusive statements. Let's put it this way. The school of original thought has been in recess for about the last 25 years.
I do believe that.
Yes.
My daughter saw, what was it, that one that takes place in the labyrinths? The catacombs. She said that one was really good.
Actually, that one was pretty decent.
And I think that was also a found footage.
That was a found footage one.
But,
I think
but
as
she told me there was a happy ending.
I think it's called. What is it called? As It Is Below or something like that?
Yeah, Above Is Below or something like that.
But it was in Paris.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, that one. Okay, all right. No, now I got to retract my statement. That one was actually pretty decent. But
they're far and few between because I mean there's just too many sequels.
Well, and
that's like, across the board.
It's like people did we not learn anything from the remake of The Fog, The Thing, and Nightmare on Elm Street?
There's something new.
Yes, for God's sakes, and there's plenty of stuff out there. I mean, even if you copied like a Japanese horror film and made it an American horror film, do that instead of, doing Nightmare on Elm Street Part 112. Freddy's in the Convalescent Home or something like that. Good Lord, it's like horror has hit an all-time low. We haven't seen anything that is actually scary, number one, and actually creative. It's all. I still think that Hollywood is like either banking on the piggyback on the big name box office draws, which, by the way, the reboot of Poltergeist is coming out.
Yeah, that one looks interesting.
It looks interesting, but I'm honestly, Jerry, I'm like afraid to go.
Well,
I'm really, because I was so sad when I watched the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street. I sat there in the theater and I was almost like crying. Yeah. I'm going, my God, that was an iconic film, and you took it and turned it into it was just very sad. But I'll probably end up going to see it anyway, just because it's Poltergeist.
Well, I hardly go to the movies anymore, but I did go and see Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, I went and saw Godzilla as well.
I really liked it.
Did you?
I liked that Godzilla.
Well, all right. Let me phrase this correctly. I liked the creature Godzilla.
Uh-huh.
I did not care for the movie. If that makes any sense.
Let me put it this way. Godzilla movies are bad. Okay, so you have to love big rubber lizard movies.
Right.
Okay. Now,
not like the Godzilla the 1990s version.
I even liked that one.
Did you really? I thought it was too much like a lizard. Not enough like a thunder lizard.
It was still a giant creature that destroyed a town. I liked it.
Yes, well.
But I mean, I liked Cloverfield, and I liked Pacific Rim. I almost said Pacific Rift, but I'm thinking Oculus Rift. Can you imagine watching one of these on an Oculus Rift? And so this one, I mean, he was the Godzilla I like.
Yeah.
And I didn't really care about the rest of the movie. I just wanted to see the Godzilla, and I wanted to see him fighting the other monsters. And I love the end where he grabs that other monster, stretches its mouth open, and breathes fire down its throat. That was awesome.
Yes. Now, I will say that, but I didn't care for the other monster. He kind of
they were kind of weird.
No pun intended.
But the guy who made that is the one who made, God, what was it called? Was it called Monsters? It was about the big land octopus monsters in Mexico. You remember that?
Actually, I just saw the sequel of that.
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
It's called Monsters Dark Continent. And
was it good? Was it by the same guy?
I don't believe it was by the same guy. It just had... See, this is the problem. It's like you have a story where you're really dealing with two main characters trying to get through and survive, to get to the United States, right? This one, it's bigger and there's more characters involved, and it gets a little bit hard to follow. And I don't know. It didn't have the horsepower that I thought the first one had because it was a unique story,
Yeah.
and because
It's simple.
yes, it was simple, and this was so big and complex, and it was like Middle East war, and monsters are everywhere, and you're fighting these people, but you're also fighting monsters. It just, I don't know, it just smacked of social commentary, and I don't know. I just felt like they had, you know what it boiled down to, Jerry? I think they had too much money to spend.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a simple concept, and it's like the first movie was good, and it obviously made some money. Otherwise, they wouldn't have done a
but
sequel.
it didn't hardly cost any money. So any money they made was money. And so Hollywood looked at it and went, oh, we could make some money off this.
Right, like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Keep it cheap. I'm all for, don't throw a huge amount of money at a movie. Budget it and then force yourself to be creative with it,
Right. See, that's why I love this whole crowdfunding thing. Like,
I do too.
I just saw where Super Troopers. You remember the movie Super Troopers?
Yeah.
Okay. They put up a crowdfunding thing and got $2 million.
There you go.
Like within a day.
One of my favorite science fiction writers, Rudy Rucker, has done a crowdfunding thing for basically his memoirs.
Oh, really?
And I chipped in really handsomely because I'm going to get a signed hardbound copy of it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But I mean, I love the guy, and I'm glad he's doing that. And look,
Right.
he's going around the established publishing, and this is a guy who's been in established publishing forever and was successful. But he's also an actual real scientist, and he's also an actual professor at I think he's at he's one of the California universities, somewhere I would have gone to.
Right.
And but hey, he's like, okay, hey, there's a new way to do things now, and he's doing
Yes.
it. And I'm kind of drifting off into our new podcast.
Well, actually, why don't you give a plug for that? I
Yeah,
think
let's
would be
do that, and
appropriate
then
since
let's-
we're going to be on hiatus
Yeah.
for an undisclosed amount of time, I think you should tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, and occasionally, Dan,
Yeah.
at webartisan.today.
Can you spell out Web Artisan? Because
Yeah.
people might.
It's WEBARTISAN
Yes.
.today. No .com, that's .today. It's one of the new top level domains.
Right.
And that's going to be actually, Dan and I just finished recording the very first one, and that's why we're going through and we're saying goodbye to the other ones
Yes.
for a while.
Exactly.
So follow us over there.
Right.
And I guess you got to get going.
Well, yes. So,
So
so on that note, I just want to say to the thousands, literally. I mean, I used to joke and say to our one listener who I can't even remember his name. Remember the one guy that used to write in?
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I can't
either.
remember his name either, but I used to joke about that. But then when we looked at the numbers, it was like we have thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners. So it's like, I just want to say thank you for listening to two old college friends like talk about movies and science fiction and basically wandering into whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's, number one, it's been fun, and we didn't even know that anyone was listening, and then we found out everyone was listening. It's like, holy crap.
You know what?
Now we have to be responsible adults. So, but I just want to say thank you to our listeners because honestly, I go back and listen to some of those, like especially our Halloween specials.
Oh, you're the one that listens to them, and maybe we don't actually have listeners. It's
Oh,
just
it
you.
could just be me. I go back and download like every single one 400,000 times.
That explains it all.
Yeah, so honestly, it's and I know we keep getting new traffic, so for those of you who are new listeners, I encourage you to go back and listen from the beginning because that way you'll grow to hate us with some resource. And Jerry, for you, I mean, I think it's so funny how just a Skype call
led to
between
this.
two old friends who really didn't have that much of a life outside of that, turned into a podcast that people actually wanted to hear.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to us, guys and gals.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a Halloween special for 2015. Maybe
Yeah,
that's what we should do.
Let's do
every
it.
year.
Yeah, every year let's do at least a Halloween special.
I think so.
So we're going to keep this up and going, but
I think that would be hilarious. I will commit to doing a Halloween special.
okay. Yeah.
I think I can do that. So look for us to come back on or around Halloween 2015. I think
Okay.
that could be exciting.
It's a date.
It is a date. I'll make sure I put on my best dress.
I'll put on my best zombie mask.
Yes. Well, so until that time, dear listener, thanks.
Thanks
Thanks from the bottom of my heart and from Jerry's heart as well,
Yes. It's
which I have in a glass jar under my bed. That's such an old joke.
just in my brain too.
Well, that too. I've got both them in a jar under my bed. So anyway, thanks so much, and we'll catch you on Halloween.
Okay. Take care, everybody, and thank you so much, really.
Seriously.
And now I'll cue the music.
Yes.
It's here. It's now. It's now terrifying. It came from the living horror of Zombie Beach.
In 3D Technicolor diorama with Dolby Stereo sound.
See things you never thought you'd see before, but always dreamed of.
See living skeletons with no flesh devour young children and dogs down Main Street.
See the psychopathic mass axe murderer terrorize young women, then decapitate them in a millisecond.
See Melee Large, the atomic African toad, eat Bulu the pygmy while terrifying a small African village near Guadalupe.
Remember, it's all in 3D. Don't forget to go to the scanning counter.
It's blood.
It's guts.
It's horribly,
terribly phantasmagorified.